Hello and good afternoon. Holly Shield here from Kalkine Studio in Sydney, and you're watching The Early Trades, a show where we share with you a glimpse of the Aussie share market opening trade scene, along with the global and domestic drivers triggering the market momentum. Well, Australian shares are trading slightly higher at the open this morning, supported by an advance from NAB. The S&P ASX 200 index was up 0.03%. and NAB was up 0.7% after doubling its final dividend and beating profit expectations for the 2021 financial year. PointsBet Holdings was up 5% and Whitehaven Coal up as well, 3.7% higher. Meanwhile, Medicus was down 3% and Newcrest Mining trading at 2.8% lower as well after announcing it would acquire Pretivm for $3.8 billion. Well, Aussie shares were poised for a tentatively positive start as the Great American Melt-Up continued. These benign conditions for investors, daily gains are modest but consistent. Volatility has plunged and periods of calm like this are rewarding, but they never endure. Different approaches to the Delta outbreak mean the ASX has underperformed Wall Street by some distance in recent months. The economic lag down under will take some time to iron out, but all evidence from recent data suggests the economy will quickly catch up. Business confidence figures released this morning showed sentiment is buoyant and trading conditions are strong. NAB's measure of confidence jumped from +10 to +21 last month. Conditions rose to +11 from +5 as NAB chief economist Alan Oyster said that conditions turned around in October, driven largely by the end of lockdown in New South Wales. Confidence is now back in the positive territory across all states and industries, signaling that there is a broad optimism about the way recovery is tracking now, that vaccine targets are within reach and restrictions are lifting. Looking at the market, the S&P ASX 200 index started down 5 points, or less than 0.1% yesterday, as investors held off to see if Wall Street would play nice overnight. Confirmation should clear the way for further gains this session, as miners led the US advance. The American minerals sector was up 1.23%, and both BHP and Rio Tinto rallied. Also strong was energy, 0.88% up, tech 0.58% up, financials 0.52%, and industrials 0.39% up as well. All this as utilities and consumer stocks declined. Fortescue Metals is holding its AGM today, and other companies holding their annual meetings include Bendigo and Adelaide Bank, as well as M&F Group. Then in the IPO space, the debut of Dundas Minerals has been pushed back to tomorrow. Looking at the crypto world now, and Bitcoin has soared to a record high this morning, eclipsing its previous high from October. In the last few minutes, the price of the crypto spiked to its highest level on record, up 7.5% in the last 24 hours. De Beer Group chief executive and founder Nigel Green said on Monday that he expected Bitcoin would hit a record high, adding that a number of other cryptos would rise alongside it. While the cryptocurrency market is now worth more than $3 trillion. The little more than a decade-old market for digital assets has already roughly quadrupled from its 2020 year-end value, as investors have gotten more comfortable with the established tokens like Bitcoin and networks like Ethereum and Solana continuing to upgrade and attract new functionality. Excitement about the possibilities of decentralized finance and non-fungible tokens is growing, as meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu continue to attract attention. Well, it's time now for a short break, but stay with us for more market updates on the other side. Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the craze has reached,
where the property market is headed next,
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With Kalkine TV. Hello and welcome back. Let's get straight into the newsmakers from today's morning trade. Well, first up, Newcrest Mining is set to acquire all of the issued and outstanding common shares of Pretivm by way of Canadian plan of arrangement. Under the offer, Pretivm shares will receive a consideration of $18.50 Canadian a share, valuing the company at 3.5 billion Canadian dollars. The board of directors of Pretivm have unanimously recommended that the company's shareholders vote in favour of the transaction and have entered into a voting support agreement with respect to all of the Pretivm shares that they own or control. Pretivm owns the Brucejack operation in the highly prospective Golden Triangle region of British Columbia, Canada. And Newcrest will become the operator and 100% owner of Brucejack following the completion of the transaction, which is currently targeted for the first quarter of next year. Moving on, Crown Resorts has appointed Simon Mcgrath as Chief Executive of Crown Sydney and Group Head of Hospitality. Mcgrath, who previously worked as Chief Executive of Accor Pacific, is expected to commence employment with Crown Sydney on the 1st of February next year. And next up, NAB has declared a final dividend of 67 cents after reporting a strong rebound in profit during the financial year 21. The company's cash earnings rose 76.8% to $656 billion during the year, beating market expectations. Meanwhile, statutory net profit climbed to $6.36 billion, and the company's common tier equity tier 1 ration was 13 basis points. The net interest margin dropped 6 basis points to 1.71%, while gross loans and advances increased 5.9%, driven by non-housing lending. And expenses fell as well at 13.2%. The company's final dividend was more than double the 30-cent final dividend it was paying a year ago, and its biggest distribution in 2 years. Meanwhile, outdoor clothing and surfwear group Kathmandu says consumers should get ready for the wetsuit shortage this summer after revealing a $35 million hit to profit in the 3 months ending October 31 due to extended lockdowns in the major cities of Australia and New Zealand. CEO Michael Daly, who took the helm in May, said there was better signs as economies opened up and the group anticipated a solid second half, although it will not make any profit forecasts in such an uncertain market. And construction materials, equipment and service provider MAS Group has provided earnings guidance for the 2022 financial year, saying that pro forma EBITDA is expected to be in the range of $115 to $125 million. In the current financial year, the company reported pro forma EBITDA of $75.9 million and said the improved earnings were being driven predominantly from organic growth in the business, while some acquisitions will contribute to earnings beyond that. Well, that's all for now in the early morning trains, but stick around to Kalkine TV because we have many more shows lined up for you today. Holly Shields signing off.